record. There we go. All right. Should be good. And I'm still looking at messages. I'm not sure why. Tracy, I hope you can get in. Okay, so I have a couple things. One is where this all came from is, and Destiny already kind of knows this, there has been a lot going through my brain lately about our identity and our thought life and our thought processes and how what we think eventually becomes how we act. And so I have this cute little book, Destiny, you'll recognize this. It says, What's True About You, Life-Changing Reminders of Who God Says You Are. So I've been doing a lot of thinking and journaling and everything on identity. And then I heard this podcast from who else but Bob Heilig about identity in our business. And I thought, so I my ears perked up and I wanted to hear what he had to say. So I took a bunch of notes from that and I wanted to share that with you. And it goes so much with what I've been talking a lot over the last few months about our identity and taking every thought captive and all that. So our identity. So yeah, I just wanted to give credit where credit's due. I've been thinking a lot of these things and then Bob put it into words. So I'm like, oh dude, I'm going to sit down, take notes and articulate this as best as I can. So thoughts, beliefs, and the stories that we tell ourselves. Bob a lot of times calls them red light stories and green light stories. So our thoughts, our beliefs, and the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves is where our identity comes from. So not the person that we look like on social media, because sometimes when we're on social media, we look so much more confident than we really feel inside. So it's how you really, really feel about who you are behind closed doors when nobody's looking, all those thoughts that go through your head. Sorry, am I still cutting out? Gosh, I hope not. Destiny's typing that I'm cutting out. Am I? Gosh. Okay, let me try to move me. This didn't work yesterday. I tried it and it didn't work, but we'll try it today. I connected myself directly, hardwired myself to the internet. And I thought if I was connected through the Ethernet, it would help, and it didn't. But we'll try it again today and see if connecting makes a difference. So we're gonna walk out to my sun porch where the schoolroom is, and we're gonna try to connect that way. There's Tracy. Hold on. Okay, so for whatever reason, the last few days, I'm just having a lot of internet problems. So we'll just cross our fingers.
I finally.
I'm gonna mute everybody. Okay, so again, it's our thoughts, it's our beliefs, and it's the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. So he points out that success isn't doing, it's being. That's my friend Mindy is always like, we're a human being, not a human doing. So we need to be looking at who we're being. Who is it that we want to be? And that will help us. Yeah, good to hear you, Tracy. We're glad you made it in here. So most people think that if they work harder and do more and hustle more, that that's going to bring them success in their business. And that really doesn't seem to work really well. I believe that we can work diligently without the grind and the hustle and the anxiety and all of that. I believe we can work diligently from more of a place of rest. But if we do it from the right identity, if we're doing it from the right thought process, and we will have much more success than that push. And because that comes like almost desperation. People can feel that kind of desperation in us when we're like trying to hustle all the time. So, so if we focus on identity, that leads to our actions. And your identity, if you're living in an identity that says, I don't deserve better, I don't deserve success, I don't have what it takes to do this. If we have that kind of an identity, then our business is not going to grow. We're always going to stay limited. And I have read this over and over and over. John Maxwell, I mean, all these people talk about this, but at some point you have to internalize it. So it's like, oh, that's really good. Close the book and move on, or listen to the video and move on. At some point we have to kind of internalize it and go, okay, we have to actually walk in a new identity. So Bob said there's 3 areas. One, as a business owner, 2 is a network marketer, and 3 as a leader. These are the 3 areas that he wants us to learn about a new identity in. So we have to see ourselves as all 3 of these. So first, business owners. We are business owners. Some of you were around for the Brooke Hemingway trainings where we coined one of Christy Jeck's phrases about we are freaking professionals. And we've joked and laughed about that, like, come on, I am a freaking professional. And sometimes we have to really work to remember that, like, we are business owners. It is legit. It may not look anything like the brick and mortar stores out there, and that's actually a good thing, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it's still a business. So even if it looks very different, it's still a business. It's a legit business. So we need to start identifying that way and seeing ourselves as business owners. We are professionals. So if you were calling it a side gig, this little part-time thing I do, a side hustle, if you're like downplaying it like that, then it probably means that your beliefs are a little bit lower than we want them to be. So if you talk like that, it keeps you in this comfort zone of, I won't get my hopes up. I won't get disappointed. If I'm like, oh, I'm just doing this little side thing, then I continue to play small and my business plays small. And then if it doesn't work out like I hoped, phew, I didn't get my hopes up. And that might be embarrassing if I get my hopes up and it doesn't quite work like I thought. But it's never going to grow if that's how you're seeing it, is this little side gig, right? It's always going to stay small because we're putting that limit on it. So, but deep down, do you really believe that's all you're offering people, is this little side gig? Because I don't. And I've called it that before. I have been so guilty of saying, oh yeah, this is my side hustle, or this is, this little side gig. And I've done that like lots of times in the past. And I quit doing that because I realized that that was me putting my business in this tiny little jar. And then I'm offering it to people and that's what they're thinking it is this little side thing. Well, how am I going to share what it really is if I keep putting it down like that? So I don't think that what we have is a little side, part-time, whatever little thing. I think what we have is so much more. I know what we have is so much more. I've watched people go, like, for example, Brenda, our diamond, $100,000 in debt to their cabinetry business, a broken down economy that wouldn't help them pay things off. And then now they're debt free and have that 9,000 square foot barn house. It's amazing. I mean, I sit and look at her barn pictures and just am drooling over them. So I've watched people go into it with the mindset that this is a honest to goodness, true business. They are truly business owners and they've taken it to a whole other level. So if you don't see yourself as a real business owner and that you have what it takes to run a real business, then you'll start playing small. And especially if you're like so many of us that are accidental business owners that came into this because we just love the products. And then we're like, oh my gosh, I love the products so much that I want to share it with people. And we didn't really come in thinking of it as a business. It's really easy then to get stuck in that trap of, well, it's just this little thing I do. So, and I even had somebody call it that once to me, and they were a financial advisor, and they were like, I can't remember the exact words, but something about at some point I was going to have to do more than that little thing that I was doing. And I was like, oh, that little thing I'm doing? And he's like, yeah. So how much are you making from that? And I told him about my average income, and he went, oh, well, then, okay, then you probably don't need to add something else. And I was like, what did you think it was? So, so I am a business owner. So your thoughts determine your feelings, which determines your actions. So if you're still thinking of yourself as not a professional business owner, then you're not going to act like one, and you're not going to attract and draw people who want a business. They're going to be like, well, I don't want some little side gig thing. So if you doubt your ability, you won't act like a pro, and the results will follow. So if you have like a sometimes business, you might have a small mentality about being a business owner. And that means like, I work it sometimes. I work it when I feel like working it, which honestly, how often is that? Like, I love this business, but how often do I feel like working it? Probably not as often as I should. We tend to be, yeah, more often than I should admit. Yeah. we tend to kind of go by our feelings, like, oh, I just don't really, I'm not into it. I'm not feeling it today. So I don't want to message people when I'm not feeling it, because, you know, that'll come through. So I better wait. And it's like, no, you better get your feelings changed so that you can go work it. I'm telling you, I have said all these excuses, even this week. I have said them. So I'm totally like pointing the finger at me. So yeah, if you have a sometimes business, working it when you feel like it's, starting and stopping. Oh, I did like 20 contacts today. They didn't do any for a week. And then I did like 20 for day. That is not somebody who's thinking like a business owner. My brother, I always use him as an example. He's a brick and mortar business owner, and he doesn't get to work when he feels like it, because he probably wouldn't go in and work very much if it was based on when he feels like it. He would much rather, today is 60 something degrees and beautiful. I guarantee he would rather be out riding his razor somewhere right now than sitting in the store and selling product. But you got to pay the bills. You got to keep the doors open. So he's working. So we have to kind of change those limiting beliefs. Otherwise, we'll live in those limiting beliefs. If you downplay and make your business seem small so you won't fail, so you won't get your hopes up, so it doesn't hurt your feelings if it doesn't work out, this is all limiting beliefs. If you do see success, then maybe you start to get embarrassed by it, or you don't want to share it, or whatever. You start downplaying the success you've had. Well, yeah, I did that, but it was only because da 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 da. You will lose your success. It will happen, because you can only downplay and downplay and downplay for so long, and it will start living down to that. So if you don't believe you're a successful business owner, if you don't live it, if you try to hide it, I'm not saying it, go out and be boastful and be like, I am the best Plexus ambassador in the whole wide world. I mean, I'm not trying to say you should go be bragging and all that. But if you're constantly downplaying what you're doing well, hey, Margie. Hi, Margaret. Sorry, distracted. Then your results are going to go down. See, this is why I have notes. See, because my squirrel brain, I have notes. I feel so proud of myself. Okay, because I'm a professional today. Just today. Hi, Margaret. Okay. Also, the flip side of that, don't try to act like you're more successful than you actually are, meaning don't go buy some expensive car that you can't afford so that you can show off that you're like, you know, I knew people that did this in another company before, where they'd gotten this super expensive car, so they looked all successful everywhere they went, whatever, and they were living way beyond their means, and they didn't do well in their business because they were really faking it the whole time, and everything just kind of crumbled. And then they had all this debt because they were faking. They were doing the fake it till you make it thing, which was not working. So don't try to be somebody you're not. Like, don't spend a bunch of money on a fancy new wardrobe. And I mean, seriously, I can take you out to a thrift store and Gordman's, and we can get you into some clothes to do a presentation in, right, Destiny? Like, we can get you into some nice looking clothes to do a presentation in for like $10, and you're good to go. Like, we don't need to go in debt. So let's see. Oh, this was good. These questions were good. So think like a business owner, treat it like a business. And if you did that, how would you show up differently? So if you were already a successful business owner, if you were already a jewel or whatever you picture success as, how would you be showing up differently each day? That one gets me. I'm like, ooh, if I was actually working this like a professional business owner, how would I show up differently? Probably, first of all, I'd show up every day. I wouldn't probably make excuses for myself, no matter how I feel. And I saw a little note in here, told you emotions and feelings were bad. No, emotions and feelings are not bad. It's how we react with them, okay? So I'm not gonna let you do that. So show up daily no matter how you feel. It's those small acts compounded daily will lead you one small step at a time to great success. So think, feel, and then act like a business owner. You can kind of think your way into that. If we will stop and think that we have a vehicle in Plexus to give people a life-changing, hi kitty, sorry, I got distracted. Don't jump on my laptop, please. If all of a sudden I disappear, it's because the cat decided to jump on my laptop. So if we will understand that we have something that will change people's lives. Like a lot of people say that, oh, it's life changing. It's to the point that it's, I know, scroll. It's to the point that everything is life changing and nobody even really realizes how life changing something is anymore, because everything is life changing. But truly, we have a vehicle to have something truly amazingly life-changing for people. God has given us such a vehicle in Plexus to change lives. And I think any of us that have been around for very long have seen that. We've had our own lives change. We get to change people's lives with the products. We get to change people's lives with the personal growth. I mean, there's so many ways. And of course, as a business, with the financial freedom and everything that comes. So we have a great vehicle here and we need to not downplay it. Okay, number two, we're business owner. That's the first one. Number two is network marketer. So we need to understand, the way Bob said it is so good. You must realize you don't do network marketing. You must become a network marketer. Now, I understand that this one is the one that hangs a lot of people up because network marketing has been done so wrong by so many companies over decades, right? We've seen it done in a way that really leads people to what we jokingly call MLM PTSD. So people will have their, oh my gosh, I did that and it was terrible and whatever. So network marketing can be done wrong and it can turn people off, and I get that. But we're in a company that I can say with 100% confidence, it's doing network marketing right. Chelsea, are you falling down? I love it. I just saw the ceiling and then you laughing. So, oh no, come back. So we do it right. You don't have to worry about that there's going to be something sneaky, that you're selling your friends something and then there's going to be this gotcha that comes down the line. You don't ever have to worry about that. Like, it is so done right. So he says, have you realized how awesome this profession is, especially, I'm going to say, as Plexus does it? It is an amazing industry. Like, we have total freedom to do this how and when we want. Sometimes that freedom causes us not to do it the way we should, like we just talked about as being a professional business owner. But we have that total freedom that most businesses don't have. Network marketing lets us do what we want to do and not sacrifice the people in our lives. And not, yeah, sometimes freedom can mean lazy. So that's why you have to go, okay, what do I believe about myself as a business owner? This is something I am working on, you guys, because I don't want to be do it when I feel like a business owner. I want to be like a professional business owner. So, so yeah, if you have any amount of catch in network marketing, do something to build that belief in network marketing. He says, don't be a network marketing secret agent. I kind of like that. Like, we're like these closet network marketers, you know, like, and there are people that will feed into that fear, that will be like, oh, is that one of those pyramid things, you know, and it will feed people's fear in that. And it's like, no, this is not one of those pyramid things, because that's not legal. And we can't have been doing this for 10 years plus if it were not legal. So we have some longevity for a reason. And we have lots of legal people who will stay up on whatever the newest laws are to make sure that we're right there. So, be happy to be in this industry, because it really is amazing. I mean, it is an incredible, we get to run a business without all the strings attached that most businesses have. I don't have to work from 9 to 6 plus extra time for, you know, paperwork and whatever. I don't have to do that. So it's amazing. So embrace the profession. You get to create success honoring your priorities and values in this industry. That is huge. I don't have to throw my family under the bus to run a business. Create an identity for yourself of what it means to be in this profession that you're proud of, that you feel good about. So if you don't have that image, that identity that you're proud to be in network marketing, you can kind of start rethinking what that means. So he says, network marketing is a vehicle to use your gifts to serve others, to be all God has created you to be. I think that's a pretty good way to look at network marketing. It has certainly forced me to grow. Like, there are a lot of areas in my life I would not have grown because I didn't need to. And then I got in Plexus and it's like, oh, that's something I have to work on right there. So it's forced me to grow. It gives us time freedom, financial freedom, personal freedom. It gives us so many good things. So very few businesses out there provide all that for people, especially with the low startup cost of $39.95. This is amazing, really, truly amazing. So shift your mindset from a sales Like I've said before, we all have to know our numbers. We all have to be smart business people, because professional business people know their numbers. They know where they stand, okay, but they're not emotionally tied to it. That's where I struggle, and I don't want to struggle there, and I don't want you to struggle there. We need to know our numbers, but not be like emotionally tied to our numbers. But if we're so focused on, I need to sell this much because my PV is lower than I want, and I need to have all these, this number of people because whatever, and people become a number and a dollar sign, and it's all of that kind of a push, you won't do well. People will feel that and they won't want to do business with you. Every person that I've worked with in Plexus has been like, thank you for not doing that. I'm here because that's not the way it is. No, you are going to be naughty. This is the naughty one. Yes, I just labeled your identity the naughty one. Okay. I'm speaking curses. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Where was I? Okay, so we need to shift our mindset from that to a service mindset, which will give you income in the long run. When you're serving people and you're blessing people, you will get blessed in return. When you're putting all of those, no, I haven't looked up the meaning of Frodo, but it probably has some kind of cursed evil cat name. So probably brought it on myself. She's going to Google Frodo now, probably. So if you go to that service mindset, you're going to get blessed. You just will. It's a fact. It's the law of sowing and reaping. And so don't sacrifice your family. Don't sacrifice your why. Just be there to serve people and love on people. Stop living in your comfort zone. If you're just like wanting to be in that little tight comfort zone, and this is true for everybody. Like, I've talked to my oldest son about this. I get that you're comfortable here, but this is your comfort zone and you need to stretch out of that, because you're not going to grow. You're not going to do big things, even medium things, because you're stuck in the little thing comfort zone. And we all get there. We all want to stay there, but God created us for so much more. So we need to step out of that. Okay, so number 3 is being a leader. This one is the one that I see people, like, they can kind of go, oh, network marketing, ew, and that gets them kind of stuck. But the leader one, I hear more and more, I am not a leader. I can't lead people. I'm not a leader. We're going to change that thinking right now. So we need to get rid of all limiting beliefs when it comes to being a leader. And there's going to be some ouchies in this one because they're word for me. Get ready. Put on your steel-toe boots. Okay. So for a lot of us, we have a thing called imposter. No, you're not. You know I'll follow you. You're not leaving. Destiny's threatening to leave for anybody watching the recording. You can do this. You're tough. You can handle it. Thick skin. You got it. Okay. So we need to get rid of these limiting beliefs, this imposter syndrome. So many of us walk around with imposter syndrome. Like, we can put up that good front on social media, but deep down we're thinking, I really don't have what it takes. And I will be totally honest and transparent. I just had that hit me this Monday. I know some of it was from being tired. You guys, we women, we have to guard ourselves a little bit here when we're tired, when we're hungry, when we're stressed, when we're angry, all these things. I wasn't angry, but I was tired. I had just come off of a lot of emotional stuff and serving and doing all this stuff, and I hit that down. And by Monday night, I was like, do I even have what it takes to do this? Do I even have what it takes to lead a team? I don't know. I don't know if I can really, in my head. And I reached out for prayer right away, because I was like, okay, this is just stupid and it needs to stop. And so I'm just going to tell people to pray, and I'm going to, pray myself and be like, Lord, show me the truth. And within 24 hours, like, so many things came at me, like, no, I'm using you here, and I'm using you here, and I'm using you here. So get over yourself. You're equipped. So, but it's that imposter syndrome. Oh, I can stand up and talk a good talk, but do I really know what I'm doing? Can I really do this? Oh my gosh, they're going to find out the truth. I'm going to be exposed. We all have that to some extent. So welcome to the club. But so yeah, if you're like worried about, oh my gosh, my team is going to look at me, or if you don't have a team and you're freaking out that I can't get a team because they'll all look at me and then they'll find out what a loser I am. Okay, y'all are not losers. I know each of you very well now. You're not losers. So let's see. No matter how successful we become, we downplay our accomplishments because of that imposter syndrome. So leadership is a verb. To lead is an action, right? It's active, which means you have to act it out, which means it's something that will grow as you grow. So you get to try and fail and try and fail. Most of us hate the failure part, and that's why we don't like to try, but that's how you get better at something. Try and fail, try and fail. And I have failed my way through so many different things in leadership, like, oh, okay, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that. And I think we can give ourselves grace and know that we're all human and we make some mistakes from time to time, but that's how you get better and how you grow. So the process makes you a leader. Like, most leaders didn't just wake up one day and go, ah, I'm a leader and I have this great big team and I'm just amazing. Like, no, they will tell you that they have done some really hokey training videos that did not go well. They've done some stupid lives. They've done they just haven't done it well or done it right or whatever. And it's just a process. So becoming a leader is becoming a leader. You don't just wake up and be one. The good news is it's a skill that we can all learn. So here's the hard question. What if you don't have a team? Maybe it's because you're new and you haven't had time to have a team yet. Or maybe it's because you do have a little bit of this imposter syndrome going on and you're holding back and you're staying in that comfort zone. And maybe it has a little bit to do with because we haven't learned to lead ourselves. Okay, so that's the one that stepped on my toes. Have you learned how to lead you? That goes back to learning how to accept that you are a business owner, learning how to accept that you're in a great profession, the greatest profession in the world, in my opinion. If you can't lead yourself, you won't lead others. If you're not leading yourself to show up and do the work and build your skills and train yourself and all these things, then you may actually not be feeling like you can lead anyone else. So leadership is a skill we can all learn. There's hope. We can learn to lead ourselves. It's all good. What we need to do is stop feeding our fears and start feeding our faith. Because that red light story that talks to us and tells us we can't do this, we're not good enough for that, we're not equipped enough to do this, we're not good enough, whatever it is, that's just trash. And we just keep feeding it so it grows and grows. And it's like, no, that's not true. You are a good leader and God will equip you to be a better leader. You can lead yourself. You are a professional business person. You are in a great industry that you can lead others to give them freedom. So to say that you can't do it limits God and kind of ties his hands, because he's given us the ability. He's equipped us to do the things. Well, don't be barefoot if you can't handle it. I'm just kidding. I know you can handle it. So otherwise it just becomes a cycle and a cycle and a cycle. And here's the really, really unhappy news is it becomes a cycle that we spread onto our children who are just walking out here right now. It becomes a cycle that goes on to our kids and a legacy that we leave our kids of, well, I'm not equipped. I can't do this. I better stay small and stay safe. And they want to stay small and stay safe because that's what they've seen practiced. And so that's what they do. That was the biggest ouch to me. We have the potential to leave a huge legacy with the people around us, including our children. And so they've watched me have up days and down days. They've watched me struggle. They've watched me in the trenches. They've watched me doubt and wonder if I can do this thing. They've watched me reach a new rank and they've celebrated with me, mainly because I take them out to some dinner that they really enjoy. And they've gotten to see that it pays off to continue to keep going after your dreams, right? Yeah, Tracy's recognizing that, learning to lead myself. That is the biggest thing for me. Like, I can very easily just go on autopilot through my days, but being accountable for my days and my time and leading myself has been a huge one. Even just recently, again, for me to be like, okay, you're not liking this. You're not having joy in what you're doing. Why is that? What do you need to do differently? And like, take the reins. You're not a victim here. You are completely in control of what you're doing and you can change that. And so, yeah, so that this legacy that you leave, it can be totally different. You can turn it around and change it today, because what we're doing, we do work in a legacy company where we can will our business onto the next person. We can will it to our spouse or our kids or whatever. That's really cool. I think that's really cool. That's a great legacy. But the spiritual and emotional legacy that we can leave the people around us is huger. I know that's not a word. So what thoughts or beliefs do you have? Start uncovering those limiting beliefs in these three areas. Like, Shine a light on it. We need to get the stuff out of the dark. What limiting beliefs do you have for yourself as a business owner, for this industry and network marketing, and for you as a leader? Just start asking. Grab a journal and a pen and just start asking yourself, okay, what limiting beliefs do I have? Do I see myself as an actual professional business owner? If not, why? What are some things that are my thoughts there? And start exposing those thoughts. I mean, the Bible says take every thought captive. I think that means every thought. So start really pulling out those thoughts. What are my thoughts? What are my beliefs? Get a light on it. And like, why do you think you're not? Why do you think you can't be a business owner? Why do you think you can't really believe in and get behind network marketing? Why do you think you can't be a leader? Really dig into that a little bit. I know it's a lot of heart work, but this heart surgery turns into growth, which turns into a better business. So, and it's more freedom. It's freedom for you. And then you get to pass that freedom on to your team members, which is really awesome. And that's more of that legacy. So, and then, oh, this is the question that I love. Are these thoughts and beliefs serving me to reach my God-given potential? So when you shine a light on those thoughts, is that really serving me to reach my God-given potential, to live in that limiting belief? And if it's a no, you can change it, which is the good news. Like, we can totally change it. So if your business isn't where you want it to be, I guarantee there's somewhere in there's some limiting beliefs, and that can change. Okay, whew. So did all that in half an hour. Does anybody have anything to say? I would love to hear from you guys. I don't want to just be the whole time. Anybody has a comment or a question, now's the time. Or are we just letting it sink in and marinate? Sinking in and marinating. Awesome. Awesome. It was very convicting for me. And like I said, this has been an ongoing thought process for quite a while for me. It's just trying to figure out, okay, I think we figured that out. And then we get to come back around and go a little deeper and come back around and go a little deeper. And it's so fun how God uses, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just thought I was signing up to get a discount on some products. And God has totally used this to be like, no, we're going to stretch you and grow you a little bit. And guess what? There's like some other people out there who need to be stretched and need to grow. So we're going to be a ministry now. We're going to reach out and we're going to serve and help other people. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So who's excited about the new collagen? Yes. And as professional business owners, we are going to make sure everybody we know knows about it. Yes. Everybody's smiling now. And I don't know if you saw, but there's a new program called Plexus Perks. And that was, we just got an email about it right before I went on the Zoom. I saw the email came out and it was posted in Team Fire. So we will get more information put into the team pages about it. But Plexus Perks is a way to earn some product just by being a qualified ambassador with your subscription turned on, and new welcome packs that are getting ready to be out there. Yay, you did the survey, Destiny. Good. Those surveys are awesome. When you get a survey in your email, just do it, because you never know how it's going to end up. I mean, they're listening to the people in the field, so I love that. So yeah, the new welcome packs, Brenda had just posted about the welcome packs and everything on Team Fire just before we came on here. So I was kind of hoping if we took a half hour or so here and just chatted about our mindset and our business growth, that all of a sudden we would come back to the team pages and all that information would be ready, because otherwise it's like trickling. And I'm like, oh, there's that. Okay, then there's that. I just kind of want to get it all. So yeah, Michelle won a triplex from answering questions on the survey. So they really do give prizes out for people answering the surveys. I haven't won any yet, but I'm hoping one of these times I'm going to win some product, because, you know, eventually the odds are in your favor. So, okay. Does anybody have anything you want to add before we shut it down? Was this helpful at all? I hope. Okay. Did anybody get toes stepped on? I did. I totally did. I totally did. Not Destiny. I read your comments. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was such a good bit of information, and so I was hoping it would be helpful to some other people. So I do always pick on you because you're so fun. If you sign up to be my bestie, you get picked on in a good way. Okay, Cindy says it's very helpful. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, and as I don't know how long it'll take to get it uploaded to my computer and all that, but I will eventually get it on the team page for replay, so you can go back and make sure you've got your notes and everything. And so just make sure that you dig in and check out all the information. I know there will be lots of emails coming and everything. That Jessica Hugendorn video about what's in the new collagen is amazing. Such a good video. Like, it's not just collagen, it's collagen plus antioxidants and everything. It's amazing. So so we definitely want to like get the information we can. And like I said before, that video is an unlisted video, so I probably wouldn't put it on my wall publicly, maybe. I don't think she said anything that wasn't really compliant, but since it's unlisted, I would just probably share it in private messages. But yeah, it is really, really good. And I love when we have our professional naturopathic type people going in and making videos, because they understand all this stuff so well, and they can relay it to us so we understand it too. So, okay, I'm going to stop our recording.